It's a special hour tonight on America's civil rights history. Which president actually first took the lead in securing equal rights for minorities? Dwight D. Eisenhower, a Republican. In 1953, he appointed this guy. This is Judge Earl Warren. He was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It was the Warren Court that Barack Obama likes to quote, appointed by a Republican, that ruled unanimously that segregated schools were unconstitutional. Well, this is the guy. He was appointed by Eisenhower. He was also the first president to appoint an African American to an executive level position in the White House. Frederick Morrow. He was the administrative officer for special projects. That guy right there. It was Eisenhower who was the first president since Reconstruction to meet in the White House with black civil rights leaders. You got to be kidding me. Democrat Adlai Stevenson. Well, he wanted to change things. Here's Eisenhower. And here's the challenger, the Democratic challenger, Stevenson. He tried to accuse, again, of Eisenhower misleading the public, arguing that it was the Democrats that started desegregation in the armed forces, but they remember where desegregation started again, the progressives. But Eisenhower shot back. Remember, he was a general in World War II. He said, I was, quoting, I was the first combat commander that ever used Negroes incorporated actually into white units on the battlefield, end quote. Yeah, do you know any of this? Is it just me that missed this in school? The Civil Rights Act. Lyndon B. Johnson, the guy who gets credit for the passage. But it was actually Eisenhower. It was Eisenhower who in 1957 pushed to get the first civil rights bill passed. But 1964, that's when the civil rights bill finally passed. It actually had some teeth in it, could get the job done. Well, what happened in 1957? Well, what happened there? Well, what happened there is Congress. There was a senator who was the majority leader in Congress, and he wouldn't allow it to pass. He said Part 3 of this had to be taken out. Well, Eisenhower said, no. Are you kidding? Part 3 is the most important part. What was Part 3? It was designed to give the Attorney General authority to file suits to protect all constitutional rights, including school desegregation. In other words, the real problem, the teeth were taken out of that bill. It was nothing without it. That's why it wasn't until 7 years and multiple attempts later, after Martin Luther King and everything else, that a real civil rights bill was passed. So who was the Senate Majority Leader at the time that watered down the civil rights bill, demanded that that was taken out? Anybody know? The guy who gets the credit. The hero of the left was the villain in 57 and the hero in 64. Interesting. Why don't we know that? Now, one former Democratic president who wasn't exactly a friend to Native Americans in his day. Democrats like Andrew Jackson passed things like this, the Indian Removal Act. It is what it sounds like. It was a removal of Indians from the United States, just moving them someplace else, either willingly or by force. The removal of Native Americans through the Indian Removal Act, which Jackson signed into law in 1830, wasn't a problem for him because it's manifest destiny. It's a perversion of divine providence. It's the belief that America is destined, bestowed by God, to spread across North America. Now, if you believe that America is destined to be a shining city on the hill, a shining example, a blessing to the world, not by force, I'm with you. But if you're destined to break every treaty we made, the ends justify the means, wipe out entire populations, and we're given that right by God, you're out of your mind. Don't get me wrong. The Whigs initially opposed the concept of manifest destiny. It was the Democrats and the Whigs. But both of them did it. Both of them. Both of them helped along the way, and they both helped prolong slavery. So why is it now that so many people believe that the government would be the key to solving all of our racial problems in this country? It's the government that enslaved people in the first place. It was the government that lied to, wiped out the Indians. How is it all of a sudden the government is the good guy? That they're the answer to everything that's a problem? Next, the Native American history that has been completely erased from the textbooks.